I think so. I think so. It looks like
All
I'm.
right,
It looks
cool.
like I'm live. I'm actually going to double check. I mean, I'm very sure I am, but I'm gonna go to my
Oh
creator
no, no. Okay.
dashboard. Stream manager,
I
please.
took some time this week to uh, actually go through, and I've sent some links to a couple of my
I am.
coworkers,
I am live. Okay.
so they could participate if they are going to be, if they got time right now.
Mm-hmm.
But I did send some links to them and let them know that what I was doing today and who I was talking to, and my the staff I work with is pretty mixed when
Okay.
it comes to religion and what they believe. We have a couple Muslims, we have a couple Christians, we have, believe it or not, which is not actually not surprising because I do live in a Bible Belt. Everybody there believes in something, with the exception of me. So it's a, but we'll go into my belief system a little later on. But first, Dustin, tell us who you are, man.
Who am I?
Who
Uh,
are you? Where are you from? Tell us about Dustin.
all right. A little bit of a nutshell version. I went by Dustin YDU for the longest time. In some areas, I still do, such as my Twitch and one of my YouTube accounts. I have 3 YouTube accounts now. Dustin YDU is basically for anything random, that stuff that me and my girlfriend want to do. I also have YDU Games. It's YDU, such as you do you. And I need to get back into that more often. And I just started an atheist podcast. Yeah, Black Tony Stark here heard about that, and it was just like, dude, you got to come on my show, bruh. And I'm like, yeah, bruh, because we talk like that. And I only have a few episodes out, but so far I already have a few subscribers, which is pretty good for a brand new YouTube channel. And so I'm like, okay, this is something I want to pursue because I'm actually pretty knowledgeable with the Bible and other belief systems. So yeah, I think that's all I got for now.
All right. Well, I did meet Dustin through streaming myself. I remember it like it was yesterday. We were playing Dead by Daylight, which is such a trashy game.
It is
But
such a
for some
trashy
odd
game.
reason, I just can't leave it alone. I have a love hate relationship with it. But yeah, I'm gonna be posting up some of the links later on for you guys to get in touch with Dustin. I have his Twitch, his TikTok, also his YouTube. I did watch his Atheist podcast, and I was blown away by not only his knowledge, but what he knows, but his stance behind his belief. Because what I always encourage and cure with, will come across with a lot of people is they can't stand behind what they believe, or you send them a thought process or a question which kind of finds its way to a little crack, and then you just watch them from the inside out implode. And Dustin's never been somebody like that I've known. So like I said, Dustin, I went around my job and I started asking people, questions like, "Hey, I want to be talking to a guy who's atheist, and I want you to give me some questions, something that I can talk to him about, and let him answer it and see where it goes from there." So, but hey, Dustin, let's kind of go back into your religious background.
Okay.
Did you have any form of religion before atheism?
Oh, I was in a lot of religions before. Yeah, okay. My whole life, I didn't believe anything. Okay. I wanted to believe something, but there was no evidence behind it. There was, you got my grandmother, both of them saying, pray to God, pray to Jesus, all that stuff. And I'm just like, I don't know who you're talking about. I don't know what praying is. And they tell you put your hands together and you think real hard about what you want to say to them. And I'm like, who is them? That's what always killed me as a kid. Who is them that you want me to talk to? And so then I find, I'm growing up more and I'm like finally learning what this God situation is. So that's why I hate indoctrinating kids, because kids have no idea what the hell you're talking about. So finally I grew up more and realizing that there's more religions than just the Christian religions, or should I say the Catholic religion, because I grew up Catholic. And nothing bad is happening to these people. Why? God doesn't seem mad at these people. In fact, they seem to be living quite fulfilling lives. And I don't mean atheist people. I'm seeing other religions, such as, remember how the whole Wiccan and pagan religion became a huge fad for a while. It's like witchcraft, hell yeah! You remember that?
I do.
Hello, Logan, the Storm Chaser. How you doing? So yeah, I was. I went to that actually because I was looking for answers. They believe in magic. They believe in spirits and ghosts and all that stuff that other Christians don't believe in. So I'm just like, okay, well maybe if I explore this, I can find something that exists outside of the physical world, and at least I'll be convinced that there's something outside of the physical world. And it wasn't just pagan and Wicca, whatever you call it. I went to several different kinds of churches, different religions, including different kinds of Christianity. I went to the Talking in Tongues church. I went to the one where the priest comes over and bops you on the head and you're supposed to fall into a trance. And nothing happened to me. I didn't fall into a trance. I fell backwards hoping, oh, God, take me because I want to believe in you if you're actually out there. I'm laying on the ground and I open my eyes. I'm like, nothing's happening to me.
Placebo effect.
I look around, everyone's on the ground either having spasms or laughing or bawling. And I mean crying their eyes. I love that name, by the way. I see your chat also.
Right.
And I'm like, nothing's happening to me. So I just got up and walked out. So I walked up to the next person who was outside of the church, and I'm like, am I supposed to feel something? And they're like, shh, the angels are working. Well, they're not working on me. What am I supposed to do here? So, yeah, I've went through many different religions, and I will give you the last straw here. I know I'm going on a tangent.
Oh, no, talk.
I got a Ouija boards. Hi, Bahama Llama. I guess I can see you too. I got two Ouija boards. One of them was brand new from Walmart. Ages, 8 and up, I think. So it's brand new, never touched, never used to summon the demons, right? And then I went to a real estate sale of sorts, where they're selling all the belongings out of the house because somebody died. Well, this woman who died, old lady, she had her own Ouija board, and she was very much into the occult. She had tarot cards. She had so much stuff. And so I'm just like, all right. So I'm either going to get this very old Ouija board or a brand new Ouija board. One of them has to work for me because one of them's been used and one of them has never been used. Maybe it needs a fresh face. I don't know. I don't know the rules on this.
Is that better? Can you hear me better? I'm going to turn my mic up.
Tony's a bit low.
Yeah. Okay, cool. There we go. That should be better. I'm sorry, Dustin. Go ahead.
No, you're good, man. So I like to tell people all the time, I used them, I want to say 500 times, right? Because I was desperate. Right. I was desperate to find something that exists outside that physical world. I don't care if it's demons. I'll use the Ouija board irresponsibly. I don't care if demons come out, my house starts flying around, knives are thrown at. I don't care. I want proof that there's something outside of the physical world.
Well, Dustin, it's kind of interesting that you say that.
Go ahead.
From what you're telling me, I'm surprised that you didn't go more the agnostic road.
So agnostic is... Oh, okay. I'll let you go first. Go ahead. Finish up.
No, I felt like maybe, like, from what you're telling me, I almost felt like you would do more like me, go more the agnostic route, where it's like, I'm not saying there is nothing, but I'm not saying there is something. It's just more like I'm right in the middle, and I'm just like, whatever I can explain, I just can't explain. It's there. Whatever I can explain, I can explain. You know what I mean? So I'm surprised you went the other way.
You might be mixing up the definitions a little bit. So atheist is pretty much what you just said, okay? So atheist is, I want proof before purchase. I'm not saying there's nothing out there. I'm saying there's no proof of it, and I'm not going to buy it until I get it.
Okay.
Okay? Agnostic is actually more on the side of, oh no, they're spirits, you know, because I feel it. But, as far, I need a better definition. Give me just a second. It's not working. You know what? ChatGPT is the best. Define
It sure is.
atheist.
Bahama Lama says, I also tried being religious and now I believe in reincarnation. Huh. That would be very interesting. Reincarnation?
Give me one sec. I can't hear my girlfriend. What?
What are you defining?
Agnostic as opposed to atheism. Atheist, someone who does not believe in any gods. It's about belief. Atheists lack belief in a god or gods. Agnostic is more like someone who says they don't know if God exists. It's about knowledge. Agnostics think that the existence of God is unknown or unknowable. No, chat, I actually think you're getting this wrong.
I thought agnostic didn't do the whole organization.
Hey, don't fight with the AI, Dustin. Don't fight with the AI.
One more time, hon.
Excuse me.
Agnostics didn't do organized religion, like they just don't believe.
Yeah, we don't do like the organized religion. We just do more
So,
like a.
Agnostic is
I
more
know there's
spiritual.
a Casper in my house. That's all.
Tony goes,
It's
I
one of
know
those
there's
things
a
where it's like
Casper in my house. That's what he means by agnostic.
Yeah, like like I'm
Somebody
perfectly
who has
okay.
had hallucinations, as people would call it. I have semi-belief in ghosts. There are things that we can't explain. If we can
Excuse
explain
me.
science, great. If we can't, then we have to go, well, what could it be?
How well can you hear her, by the way?
Probably not at all.
I can hear her very well.
He can hear you very well.
Oh, awesome. But that's kind of where I'm at. I'm like, yeah, I would totally be on for a ghost hunt, but don't fucking rev shit up and make noises and try to, like, fake it out.
See, here's what kills me. All these claims that I'm hearing about, right? You hear it from everybody. People at work, I'm sure Tony has as well. Everywhere. Oh, well, how does that explain the book that flew off my shelf and across the room and landed perfectly on my piano or something like that? And I'm just like, dude, why is everything happening to other people, not captured on camera, by the way, and not me? And I'm the one that tried. And I have tried to get evil spirits to do it to me. It's like nothing.
I've seen
Well,
video.
I've always
You've
had,
seen
like, a
video.
really
Hold
weird.
on, I've seen security video at Dunkin' where a cup
She's
unexpectedly
hijacking the
got
show.
chucked. It's like,
It's okay.
I don't know if anybody could fake that when they just, they rip it back and
Right.
just, oh, look at that, just got knocked off. I'm like,
Well, I've always had a
Maybe
really
we
weird
ran
point
to
of
the
view when it
saloon.
comes to stuff
Who
like
knows?
that. Like with things like that happening, it's kind of
am I
like
convinced? Maybe.
I can't necessarily deal with the negative aspect of like the paranormal, so I always flip it to where I can deal with it. Like for instance, like you were saying, Justin,
Uh-huh.
if I have a book on the shelf, and it flies off and it shoots across the room and it lands on my coffee table just perfectly, my thoughts is okay. Apparently, the ghost doesn't like that book. It's like so let me just take it out the house. Like, but I get what you're saying. I just have a really mixed, skewed perception of the world. But yeah, I was wondering,
I did like how you put that, by the way. I'm just going to get rid of that book.
Yeah, I'll just get rid of the book. He doesn't like that book. He didn't touch the other book. Okay, apparently, The Hobbit is not your thing. I get you. I understand.
Oh,
So,
Bahama Llama's
I'll leave-
talking.
yes.
Oh.
The good thing about reincarnation is that when things die, new life begins, so it just restarts. I feel like that makes the most sense to me, but I do believe in spirits or lost souls. Okay.
Hey,
My only thing about reincarnation is I would be okay with it. I'm just one of those picky people. I would have to be concerned about what I would come back as.
see, now here's my argument to that, because
And do you keep,
oh,
and do you
okay,
keep
go ahead.
your consciousness when you do that too? Like
That's
when you
what I was
come
gonna
back,
say.
do you still have your consciousness? Like, okay, I just came back as a cockroach, but I just spent my past life as a billionaire. How do I deal with that? Like, you know what I mean?
So see, that's it.
But
You're
go
not
ahead.
going to know. Even if you are reincarnated, you're not going to know. You know why? Because the human brain is a physical thing. It's got a life. It's got a limited life. Like that's why you if reincarnation is a thing, that's why you don't remember anything before you were born.
Good deal.
So even if something does bad happen, you get reincarnated as a cockroach, you're not going to know about it because you won't be Tony anymore. You'll be a cockroach, probably very stupid like a normal cockroach, not knowing light from day.
Right, right. They tend to live forever, supposedly. Jokers are hard to kill unless you get them in your house. But
Oh, I see. I'm
well,
not getting all the chat. Okay, hold on. No, you're good. You're good. Continue.
okay. All right, Dustin. So, it's kind of funny that I've seen where you ended up with. You're talking about the Ouija board. Now I want to kind of go into my background and see how I ended up where I was. All right. So, I grew up in the church. Grew up in a Baptist church.
Yep.
I've told you guys most of that. My family is from New York. Dustin Hill's from New York as well. But we moved down here, and somehow we just got swept into the whole Bible Belt Southern Baptist thing, which is actually a really big sect in the black community, religious wise. It's like I know Catholicism is more of like a white people thing, and then Southern Baptist is more like a black people thing. So, just, yeah, not to sound crazy, but it's just from what I experienced, and then so just to give you an idea, I spent Sundays, Wednesdays, Fridays, and sometimes Saturdays in the house of the Lord. Wednesday was Bible study. Sunday, I mostly went to both services. My stepmom, was singing the choir, so she sang for both services. I had to attend both services. Friday, they did something for the kids. Saturday was probably some weird bullshit like a men's retreat or I don't know, just something crazy. But I literally spent a full time job at the age of 12, going up into my teen years at church. So I was really pretty sheltered. I wasn't allowed to listen to a lot of music. Most of my music was religious music. Um, and it wasn't until I got into maybe 11th grade in high school where I started to have a really eye opening effect of the world around me. My first one was this a guy named Ramesh. I remember like it was yesterday. His name was Ramesh. He was a black kid, played the violin, uh, loved anime, anything Asian, Japanese, Chinese food. He loved that culture, right? I
Okay.
was at his locker one day and the Satanic Bible fell out and it hit the floor. I seen it, read it. I clutched my fucking pearls. I was like, "Oh my god!" Like I've heard so much about you guys. Like this is what I'm thinking in my brain. Like I'm literally standing face to face with my enemy right now. Like this dude is my enemy. Like arch nemesis 101. And I went home and I didn't say anything to my family, but I thought it through. When I came back to school the next day, I asked him, could I take it home and read it? Snuck it in the house, stayed up late night doing that old school, reading it up under my bed with a flashlight, and scared to death, not knowing what I was doing. And believe it or not, it it was it was nothing what I was taught. Absolutely nothing of what I was taught when I was in church. I thought I was bringing home the Nebuchadnezzar. I literally thought I was bringing home the witch's Bible and I was going to summon up a spell to have my third period teacher fuck me.
And let
Like,
me
I
guess.
literally, yeah, I was like, but I read it and I brought it back and I was like, and then as I started to get to know Ramesh, he was one of the nicest guys I met in school.
Mm-hmm.
He was nicer than the other guys. I was like, what the fuck is this?
They're almost no different
And
than the pagans, right?
right. And then after that, I think that's what set the tone for me. And I explained this, and I hope my stepmom does see this because I explained to her.
Oh.
Oh yeah, I
You
blew her mind.
you
I blew her mind like, huh?
I was gonna say you felt the betrayal. It's like, hold on, I've been lied to my whole life about these people.
Right, right. Well, what was even worse for me, Dustin? It was when most of the things that I experienced during service. I'm pretty sure I got drunk and talked about this in chat. There was a girl in my church named Paula. Her name was Paula. She literally gave me my first blowjob at church.
That a girl?
Now, oh,
And you-
I mean, I'm just being honest out there. Like everything that I did that I was told not to do, I did it at church. My first sexual experience was at church. My first theft was at church. My first thing that I did wrong, smoking a cigarette behind the church, was with a member of the church. So it's kind of like that right there kind of set the tone for me, doesn't it? Where I was just like, you know what? I'm not sure if I want to do this anymore.
Thank you for the follow, Weapon. How are you? And yeah, I know exactly what you mean. And yes, you did talk about it before, which is funny, by the way. Yeah, I completely lost my train of thought.
Well, for me, it was like, was it a? It it kind of felt weird because it was like after that, how do you go about constructing your moral and ethical base?
Yep.
How do you how do you go about doing it?
And
Like for you, what was it? What was that thing for you that actually built your morals, like what you felt was morally right and ethical in the world outside of without using religion?
it's funny. I actually just did an entire show about this. Actually, it was my second episode. It's like, I ever hear the quote, if you need religion to be a good person, then I don't believe you're a good person.
Yep, heard it a million times.
Oh, hell yeah. I don't understand people's thoughts on this. How can you be non-religious and be a good person? That makes no sense. It's like, I'm sorry. How does that make no sense to you? I'm sorry. Do you like getting stabbed? No, me neither. I certainly wouldn't want other people to feel that way, so I'm not going to be the one to do it. Guess where I got that moral? Not the Bible.
That common sense, right?
Exactly.
I mean, to me, it just seems like basic common sense. There's certain things, well, here's the agnostic part of me coming out.
Okay.
I get a feeling. I'm gonna say a feeling when I'm about to do something and I know it's bad. I don't know if it's the remnants of growing up Christian and it's just my subliminal mind saying, "Hey, that's bad," or is it just me being like, you know what? I know I shouldn't be going 100, and it's like 60 miles zone speed limit miles per hour. I should be doing 60 instead of 100.
Mm-hmm.
Or is that just me uh fearing like, okay, I'm gonna do this, and the possible repercussions is I'm gonna get the super speeder ticket and have to pay $400. So that's where I kind of have to challenge myself, where I don't know if that's just my logic kicking in, or is that just the whole religious?
It sounds like it sounds like the definition of guilt.
Huh?
Am I wrong?
Not really. That technically can be the definition of guilt.
Thank you for the follow, Bahamalama. I mean, so you were just saying, you go to do you maybe you want to do something, maybe you don't, and you get a feeling. It's like a feeling. I was like, I don't know. This seems wrong. That's a conscience. That's you putting yourself in other people's position. That's you. Hey, I'm not an asshole. This is not.
Yeah.
This is. I'm sorry. This isn't God speaking to you.
Right.
I don't understand. If you want to get morals from the Bible, you know what? That's a whole other topic, and we can actually delve into that a little bit if you want. But
Oh yeah, absolutely. Oh, actually, I got a couple things I want to go into. Like I said, I grabbed a bunch of information from people at work, and they were just like, "Hey, well, ask him this," as if they were doing something special. I don't know. I guess they.
I hit the wrong button. I'm sorry. Am I still here?
Yeah. Speaking of the Bible,
Okay,
one
it
of the
worked.
big questions that I argue with because you know me, I'm all about science. I'm a big nerd, geek. You're there too. Uh, have you noticed it? I wonder if you noticed this, but the Bible does line up with a lot of historical archaeological facts, right? Um, to me, I just kind of sum it up as a good fiction book.
Yes, that's where I'm
But
at. Yep.
yeah, I just sum it up as a good fiction book because it is no different than you know reading any other book where it's fiction, but they still throw historical facts in there. But for something that was written so long ago, what is your take on that? Like, could it possibly be
I'm guessing that
uh,
was one of the questions from
truthful?
your coworkers.
Yes.
I know that for a fact because I've heard that argument before. It's like
Okay.
how can the Bible be wrong? Some of the things it says came true. Okay, it was also written a very long time ago. So let me ask you a question. I'll follow that up. I'm going somewhere with this.
Okay.
Do you believe everything happens for a reason?
Uh, I did at one point.
I think everybody has at one point because they want something to
I did
believe
at
in.
one
But
point. I used to be like, and I'll tell you why I was okay with it at first. I did at one point, and I was okay with it because that was the excuse to not have control. To
yes,
me, to
that's a
me,
very good way to put it. Actually,
that was my excuse to not have control. Just be like, well, I was late to work, but there's a reason why. No, the fucking reason why is because I just didn't wake up 15 minutes earlier. I hit snooze twice,
I'm a lazy
and
piece of That's why I was late. That's the
I hit
reason.
snooze twice. Okay, I matter of fact, here's it. I hate this job. I don't want to be here anyway. Like, so
I
I'm
love that.
not motivated to come. So I know what you're saying. Like at first, I used to be like, well, that happened for a reason, so it's okay. And then the immediate follow up, which I find so interesting, where a lot of people say, well, I'm broke. I don't have any money, but God will make a way.
Yeah, and
That's
that
like,
always bugged me too. So you're back to your original question, and there's the reason
right.
I was asking that. Does everything happen for a reason? It's like no, we don't believe that, right? Um, I used to believe that too, but I think for the same reasons you did. It's like my screw ups. It's like oh no, it happened for a reason. Just watch, right? But
Yeah.
so the Bible was written an incredibly long time ago.
Okay.
There's a lot of books out there, right? A lot of fiction books. Let's say Harry Potter, and I'll just use that as an example. There's there's no such thing as 100% fiction. Okay, you could make a story right now. You could bring out your notepad, and let's say I'm telling you to do it. Make me a story about war. Just give me a story about a soldier going through war. Okay. And so you start coming up with random stuff. Oh, he had a rifle. His rifle jammed. All he had was his knife. He had to survive out in the wilderness. He ate nothing but ants because that's full of protein, and he made it back alive. Let me tell you something. That already happened. But you could have just thought of that off the top of your head trying to make an awesome story for a book that was made 2,000 years ago plus. Okay, so it's going to get a couple things right because everything happens. Not everything happens for a reason. Everything happens. You know what didn't
Exactly.
come true in the Bible? Talking donkeys.
Right. All right, Bahama Lama. Talking donkeys. We don't. Yeah, you don't see those anymore, do you?
No, not since biblical times, evidently. Hold on, I have the quote right here. Hold on a minute. Uh, bring it up, bring it up.
You definitely don't see those anymore. The old talking donkey gag.
Oh, flying. Wow, I have a lot of stuff written down here. Oh, here it is. This is on the wow Numbers. That's the name of
Okay.
it. Numbers chapter 22, verse 28. And then the Lord opened the donkey's mouth, and it said to Balaam, "What have I done to you to make you beat me these 3 times?" Can you imagine being the owner?
Yeah.
I would have freaked the hell out and shot that donkey in the head.
Like, wait a minute. Did you just talk?
So yeah, some of the things the Bible comes up with, things might come true. Like you've heard of, the movie, The 300, where just a few hundred
Right.
people survived against a lot of army because they were better at fighting and they were fighting in a really closed off space. It was easier for them to kill off a lot of soldiers who sucked at fighting. It's like,
Do you
yeah,
think?
go ahead.
Here's,
I'm
here's
sorry.
the interesting thing. Do you think a lot? No, no, you're good. It just popped in my head. I didn't want to forget it.
No, you're
Do
good.
you think that a lot? Do you think that a lot of the stories that were in the Bible are just what's the word I'm looking for? Uh, didn't really happen. Just stories that are in there to prove like a moral point. Kind of like the ant and the grasshopper. The ant worked all summer, and when winter came, he survived.
That would
The
have been a good
grasshopper fucked
story for the Bible.
the, the grasshopper fucked off, and when winter came, he asked the ant for food, and the ant said no. Too bad, whatever. I don't know how the story went, or the hare or the tortoise. That's a perfect one. Everybody's heard that one. The tortoise, slow and steady won the race. The hare got tired, fell asleep, and woke up, and the race was over. That bullshit. Do you think that a lot of the stories in the Bible are just basically just moral stories, and people are interpreting it wrong? Like, oh, this is the word of God, opposed to a guy a billion years ago who was smart enough to say, "Hey, look, I'm going to work during the summer and chafe this wheat and make bread. That way, when the wintertime comes around, I have some food to eat."
Let me ask you follow. I'm going to answer that with a question.
Okay.
Name me one Bible story that actually has good morals.
Mm. Uh,
And
I really can't.
I'm not talking about
I
the
can.
commandments either.
Oh no, no, no! I don't believe in those. Because those are a little off. There's okay. Well, couple. There's a couple that I know. I'll use this one for example, but it's just so misinterpreted wrong by so many people. Where they say, "Oh, here's a good one: a woman's submission to a man."
Okay.
That one, they said, "Well, your wife is supposed to be this, submit to the husband in all things."
That's
Blah
not a
blah blah blah.
morality thing, though.
Yeah, but well, when you throw it in modern terms like today, it sort of is like, um, it's kind of crazy how people. I think it's just people using something that just doesn't apply to today. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
So it's my belief. I guess I don't have any actual proof, but everybody who's basically an atheist does say this, that the Bible was built for two reasons. One control, and
uh huh,
actually no, that's about it. Really, control. I forget what the other one was I was gonna say, but it's like, okay, men run this world. A woman can't run this world, so we're gonna make a Bible that says woman can't run this world. If a woman is scared to go to hell because she firmly believes in the Bible, she's like, I gotta be subservient to my man. Whatever he wants, I got it. He's got to make the decisions here. He's the breadwinner.
right. Well, I mean, it's easy to live that way back then when somebody could just come in and burn your village down and have you and take your wives.
Which
It's easy
which
to live
got enforced, by the way.
yes, I remember that story very well.
That was actually part of my last episode, by the way. It was
Enslave them.
I put aside a whole section talking about slaves, and and we say all the time the Bible condones slavery, and after looking into it a little bit more, they didn't just condone slavery; he enforced it.
Yeah.
He pushed it. Okay. If you want, I can give you a couple of those quotes.
Yes, please.
All right. Well, the first one, and I found this to be a little bit on the privilege side, so I found this a little funny. In Leviticus, chapter 25, 44 through 46, your male and female slaves are to come from the nations around you. So if you're not living in my country, then you're to be my slaves when you come to my country. You can bequeath them to your children as inherited property. They can be slaves for life.
Oh.
And then you got the rules of owning a slave. And this is in Exodus chapter 21, verse 20 through 21. If a man beats his male or female slave with a rod, and the slave dies, he must be punished. But if the slave recovers after a day or two, he's not to be punished, for the slave is property.
Oh.
Deuteronomy.
That's a rough one.
It is a rough one.
That's a rough
I
one.
should probably give you a few seconds to recover from some of these.
That's actually a rough one. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so I got one more here, and then I got two where God is actually talking to the slaves. This one's funny. All right, so this one first, though. This is Deuteronomy, chapter 20, verse 10 through 14. After conquering a city, if it surrenders, you can enslave the people. This is God talking to their people, by the way. If it resists, kill all the men and take the women and children as plunder. And my girlfriend was just like, well, yeah, because women are useless, and we're according to the Bible. And I'm like, nuh-uh, the men are the useless ones. They kill us. At least you get to be slaves. So clearly, you have some use. She just gave me the middle finger at that moment. It was a little funny.
I believe it. Wow.
All right, so
Man. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Dustin.
no, you're good. I just want to get through these because I'm proud of them, having saved these for my future uses. Now, both of these quotes, God is talking to the slaves. So imagine you being one of them, and God's like, in 1 Peter 2:18, slaves, submit yourselves to your masters, not only to those who are good and considerate, but also to those who are harsh.
Really?
Yep. And then the next one,
That's a stark contrast from everything else, though.
Which is what, you know what, I could talk about so much. I say three things in my mind and I end up saying nothing. So I'm just going to move on to the next one, which basically says the same thing from Colossians 3:22. Slaves, obey your earthly masters in everything, and do it not only when their eye is on you and to curry their favor, but with sincerity of heart and reverence for the Lord.
Why does that sound like the basis of any job that you've ever worked?
I love that. Yeah, don't work hard just because I'm watching you. I like
when
that.
you said that, the first thing that popped in my head was like, oh, that sounds like my job. My boss is not around. I got to do my job. Don't steal. Don't do this. Just obey. It just, it sounds like work. But it's kind of funny because that brings me to my next thing. Like, what I was thinking, where when you were saying that religion is all about control, and I was just like, yeah, and you were like, well, I mean, you were saying that most of it is control, which it is, but I just kind of want to delve into it so everybody kind of understands the levels of control that it really holds. One, we're gonna go straight for the top. Violence. It is a complete justification for violence. And people will always tell you, no, it's not. I'm going to tell you why. When when you can wake up and strap a bomb to your chest because your religious belief says it's okay to blow somebody up, that's a justification for violence. When you can walk into a mosque, you can walk into a synagogue, justification for violence. And I'm down with history. Like, if there's anything I know, it's history. Like, old school history, and I've literally argued with people on this. Like, and I'm pretty sure you're aware of this. Jerusalem swapped hands like a lot of times back in the day through all the different crusades they had, right?
Okay.
And there's a story. There's actually historical context where the Christians came in. I've always talked to Christians about this because they're like, oh no, that's different. We don't do that. I'm like, yes, you do. The Christians literally came in And when they took over Jerusalem, not only did they slaughter the Muslims, they slaughtered the Jews, and they slaughtered the other Christians because you're Christian. Why were you living in a city that was controlled by Muslims? So they just went and just cleared house.
Yep.
And so I was trying to explain to people like, what do you mean? Like when you, it's literally the basis of violence. Like you, when you kill your own kind, it's even worse. Like it's like I can see like, hey, well, you didn't have no choice. You were trapped off in the city. No, they went in there like, hey, you could have did something, but you stuck around, so we're gonna kill you guys too. So it's like you had that, just the whole propaganda fact behind it, where just I watched something today about Scientology, and I was just like, I had no idea the level of cultism that they
Yeah.
had because I literally just wrote it off because I was like, Scientology, that sounds like some bullshit ass shit somebody made up. Guy from billions a year came from outer space, coming back on a spaceship. That just sounds fucking crazy. So I just left it alone. But when I actually started like watching the documentary on it, I was like, wow, this is utterly dangerous.
Yeah, and it's funny, they introduce you to Scientology with their morals. Like, they give you their basics beliefs, and you're just like, you know what? I can get on board with that. That actually doesn't sound too bad. But then you get into the cult side of it. But by this time, you're already deep, and that's how they have such a following that they do.
Yeah, absolutely. Even what disturbs me most about religion is the social control. That how it just reinforces social hierarchies and stuff with moral codes. It's kind of scary for me.
What do you
It
mean?
really is.
Give me an example.
Um, you've been to church, right?
Yes.
Okay, so basically, just the hierarchy of a church. You got your pastor, then you got your deacons, and then you got I don't know what comes in between that. I guess ushers, which is probably the same as deacons, probably, and then you have the flock, the rest of the church. Um, what I mean by the social hierarchies of it, like when I was going to church, it was only so close I could sit. Does that make sense? Like the front of the church is reserved for these people.
You weren't worthy enough, and those people were, so there's some value to those
Oh,
people, is what you're saying.
this person, my 10% to the church is $5 because that's all I can afford. But this guy's 10% to the church is about 10,000. So he gets to sit right here.
You get a seat in the second row.
Yeah, you get to sit up front. You know, just it's insane. Even legitimizing authority. Look at all the kings and queens. Look at the royal family. Okay, they were put in that position by God.
Well, I mean, according to them. And you know what?
Yeah,
I bet they firmly believe it because they were born into royalty. They're like,
born into royalty.
well,
Yeah,
you're special. You know what? I am special. You're right.
that's just crazy. It's crazy to me.
Oh man. Okay, so did I answer your question, by the way, about I even forgot your question, but I know we talked about it.
Yes, you did about the Bible lining up with archaeology, the events of the world, archaeology, and the story. Yeah, you did.
Okay.
Actually, I'm going to use Joe's question. My buddy Joe sent me a question, and I think this is a good one. It's simple, but it's a good one.
Okay.
What would convince you that God exists? If there was anything
Oh, I love that
that
question.
could convince you that He exists, what could it be?
Hmm. I have I want to say an ironic answer to that one.
Okay.
I think if there was any way for me to be convinced that a God exists, only God knows exactly how to convince me.
Okay.
But he hasn't done it, has he?
Right. Now,
So,
now you know.
so
Now
no,
we
no.
can
I'll
get
give
some.
you. I'll give you. I'll
Go
give you
ahead.
a real answer though, if you want.
No, that is a real answer. But I was going to add on to something to that.
Okay, go ahead. I liked my answer though.
Why? No, no, he hasn't done anything to convince you. But why? Why do you think not? Because this is something that's always blown my mind. In the Bible, he comes and talks to people.
Yes.
I was
Yep.
in my bed. God came and woke me up and talked to
This is
me.
this is a good point, by
he
the way.
told he told me he literally was in my face and said, "I want you to cross the desert and kill these people." Right? Why doesn't he do that anymore? Why can't tonight? Why before I lay down, the mystical figure pops in my room and scares the fucking living shits out of me and tells me, "Hey, I'm God, and this is what I want to do."
I mean, you're right. I mean, according to the Bible, many times did God come over and talk to his people, and his people had no reason to reject him, had no reason to say, hey, he does. I know he exists. I talk to him like a brother all the time.
Right.
And then out of nowhere, he's just like, you know what? I'm giving y'all the silent treatment.
That's the silent treatment. The silent treatment for thousands and thousands of years. That's rough, man. What did somebody do to him? Somebody did something.
Somebody pissed him off.
That's a long time.
That's funny though.
But if there was something that could be done beyond your logical knowledge of just the world of science and things that you just know beyond molecules and nucleus, if there was anything that could be done, what do you think would be that one thing that would be like, you know what? It could be something. It could be something.
See, I don't like that. I don't like that it could be something because could is not good
You
enough.
want definite proof. Okay.
Could
What
it?
would be well, if it was something that was definite proof, what could be the definite proof? Besides him waking you up in the middle of the night and talking.
Why would he have to wake me up in the middle of the night? Come in now. On stream. Let there be witnesses that somebody materialized out of nowhere. No Photoshop involved. And my mind would be blown. I would have proof. Would people believe it right away? No, because Photoshop exists. But he's God. He can show himself up to everybody at the same time if he wanted, talking, right?
He works in mysterious ways, doesn't he?
But why would he? Why does he do that though? Why would he make it so difficult? People say it all the time. God wants you to know him. God wants you to worship him. Okay, then why did he make it such a big puzzle for you to be like, I don't know. I don't see it. I don't see it. And God's like, what? How can you not believe this? It's like,
Right.
I don't know. I don't see. It would have to be very tangible. It could be visual, but it can't stay at visual, right? It's got to be because anybody can be. What's the word I'm looking for? Where you see things.
It can be challenged.
It could be
Somebody's
challenged.
gonna probably say, like for instance, you guys went out to dinner, right?
Yeah,
Did you have a beer?
I did not actually. I had champagne.
Okay, you had champagne. So, just could you imagine if you said what you're telling me? Someone's gonna challenge it and say, "Well, hell, you had one glass of champagne. That's enough to make you see stuff."
Exactly. By the way, I cannot think of the word I'm looking for. What's the word I'm looking for? Where you see things. Why am I being stupid?
Oh, hallucinate.
Yes, thank you. So
Yeah.
anybody can hallucinate, right?
Right.
There are drugs and in some cases alcohol that can make you hallucinate. There has been biological warfare. I don't see why people wouldn't be able to make some sort of hallucinogenic and put it in the air in like a big mist, making everybody see this. Well, not the same thing, but hallucinate nonetheless.
Right.
You know what I mean? So this would have to
Right.
be not just visual. This would have to be measured. This would have to be, in a way, sampled. I'm not saying get a piece of God, but you know what I think you get what I'm getting at.
Mm-hmm.
There has to be a full spectrum of proof to where people in the world can't be like, but what about this? Like, no. There is no what about this. because he's God, and if he's perfect, he can give us the definite answer with a capital A on that he exists.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Long tangent over.
Hey, hey, well, let me ask you another question.
Sure.
Why do you think people follow religion anyway?
Oh, there's multiple reasons for that. Just look at the most recent one. It's called MAGA.
Oh, make America God again, or?
But I mean, he's just a man, right? But there are people out there, saying that he is, he's chosen by God. Some people are saying he's.
Yeah, I've heard that one.
Right. Now, why would people be religious about that?
What do you perceive any legitimate reason for following divine, like maybe a mystical experience, a deep meditative state, some stuff like that? Maybe too many shrooms, or
No, it's. You know what I think it really is, though, and I'll give you the real answer, by the way.
okay.
People like what they hear. People want to hear what they want to hear. And so when, people have been struggling, right? Especially the poor.
Indeed.
Yeah, the poor people of America, the non 1%ers who don't have a degree or a higher paying job. You got people who are well into their 50s, working a couple part-time jobs with no hope of retiring. And then comes a man who says, hey, if you elect me, there will be a little hard time maybe, but I'll make sure you're taken care of. They're like, I mean, nothing else has worked. I'm 50-something years old, and I've been working my ass off all my life. Something's got to happen, so I'm going to throw all my trust in there. And when he starts screwing up, you don't want to be like, I mean, he's still pretty confident that he's going to make my life better, and that's why I voted for him.
Right.
And now there is multiple answers, and that's just one of them. And then, that can be pointed towards MAGA, that can be pointed towards the church. It's like, I've been struggling my whole life, and the Bible says, well, if you suffer now, you'll get a bigger castle in heaven.
It does. It definitely does.
Right?
I mean, okay. Well, I've had to. This is where I was driven more to be more agnostic. I'm gonna tell you what happened, because even when we were in the church, I do remember, although I experienced all those other interesting things in church, beyond that was considered worldly, let's just say, there were some good things.
BJ doesn't count as other worldly.
Yeah, that's true. It was.
I mean, it may have been good, but
Yeah. Well, technically, you're right. They encourage it to happen under the confines of marriage.
They encourage it?
Yeah, when you're married, hey, you're supposed to.
Oh, I thought you meant in the church. I'm like, man, I'm going to the wrong churches.
I wish.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Could you imagine the attendance?
Oh my! You just gave me $1 billion idea.
The numbers right now are like dangerously low for men in church. Like most women that I talk to who are Christian, they're like, just like, hey, I can't find a good man. I'm like, I don't know why. You spend 4 days in church, and they're like, there are no men in church. I'm like, I wonder why. Is that because? And I don't want to sound misogynistic, but it's going to come off like that. Men are we're geared to be more logical anyway. So
I wouldn't say that.
Our breakup. Well, I think we just view things differently. Like women will say that's a bowl of fruit, and women will say no, that's a bowl of grapes. It's the same thing. It's just the way we look at it.
That's called semantics.
What is semantics?
2 words that mean the same thing.
Okay.
So it's just like, hey, like if you go, it's like, hey, that's a bowl of fruit. No, that's a bowl of grapes. What the fuck do you think fruit is?
Trying to throw you a loophole. I was trying to throw you a loop, Dustin. Get there. You're your toes. Anyway, but
go ahead.
But yeah, I just feel like I was just like, well, we tend to like think a little different, so maybe that's why men aren't in church anymore because we can kind of like you can only bullshit us so much so long, but for some odd reason, I've always felt like women are more in church because of the flair and the pomp and the other stuff. It's geared towards them, like you know what I mean. Putting on your
There's
best outfit, getting your hair done, looking your best. I could give a shit about what I look like when I went there. Like I remember going to church with like Slipknot shirts on. Like I was like, you know what I mean? Like it's a little weird. Like I remember waking up in the morning and my stepmom getting up 2 hours early just to get ready to go to a 45-minute service. It was like, what's this deal?
I can give you a little bit of an answer to that one.
All right.
So this goes back to your other question. So I'm answering both because you said, why do people follow church so blindly? So many of them. And then you got this one you're talking about, people getting dressed up, going to church. I can't find a man while you're at church. There's no men here. What do you want? It's a social group. It's a big social group, and you're in a room full of how many people? Like 100 plus, depending on how big your church is, of people feeling and believing the same exact thing you do. Okay, why is it so hard to get a relationship nowadays? Because you're looking for people who you are compatible with. Well, if you got the same beliefs, you're already compatible at least to be friends with, if not everybody in this church.
Good answer, Dustin.
Okay, so it's a social thing too, which is one thing that atheists have an issue, or not an issue, have a struggle with, because once you leave the church, there goes your social web, if you will. They're all gone. Even if you are still friends with some of them, the majority of them has probably shunned you or just don't care to talk to you anymore, and
Right.
or just plain believing you're going to hell. Which is why there are a lot more websites nowadays dedicated to atheists coming together. That way, it's like, hey, you're not alone. We're still friends. Come on, you get what I'm saying? It's like it's a
Right.
big social construct. We are social creatures, whether we're introverted or extroverted. We need some sort of social situation standard.
Right. Good answer. That scenario, although I geared it as it came from me, that actually came from my buddy Juan.
I had a feeling
I hope so.
because I've heard that
That's
question too.
pretty. That came from. Oh well, you know what? This one's from Ricky. Ricky. I don't know. I'm pretty sure he's not watching. He's probably getting drunk. But
Come on, Ricky.
I'm just messing with him. He doesn't even drink. He's full fledged. Like he literally has a cross tattooed on his arm. I do too, but mine has a different significance. I have an iron cross tattooed on my arm. So if you guys can see that. So technically,
You sound like you're breaking your keyboard.
oh yeah, not something off my keyboard. I have
I
an
see it.
iron cross on my arm, and the true meaning of it is for bravery. But somehow the Nazis hijacked it, and so did the Crusaders. So there you have that. But anyway, he asks, what are your thoughts on the possibility of an afterlife, and does that ever change your thought? Like maybe possibly when you do finally cash out, there's a strong possibility that you can either end up at the top or the bottom. How do you feel about that?
Top of the
If
bottom.
well, heaven or hell.
Oh, okay.
But he wants to know: do you think there's a possibility
I,
of an
I I
afterlife, or
I
do you
know what
just
he's
feel
talking about. He's looking at a thing I like to call Pascal's wager, which means
okay?
better safe than sorry. Okay, so he's like, listen, there's no proof that a heaven or hell exists. There's no proof that God exists. But God damn it, if I say I don't believe and it turns out to be true, I'm gonna be sorry. And it's a cop out, right? Because you're not even being genuine to yourself, let alone your own religion. Because you're just saying, man, I'm just playing it safe.
Right.
You could get you got a bunch of coworkers saying, "Hey, give me $5. I'll put in for a lottery ticket for all of us. If we win, we'll split it." It's like, okay, well, I'm gonna be more safe than sorry and save my $5. It's like, okay, that's what you call Pascal's way. Like I said, it's a cop out. And are you truly a Christian if you're just gonna say, I'll go to church because I don't want to be on the wrong side of history. I don't want to be wrong. You're still going to be wrong because you don't really believe. You're just going through the traditions, convincing yourself to convince other people that you're following. Do you think God's not going to see past that if he's real?
Of course not.
Yeah.
He knows everything.
Exactly my point. Like he
knows everything. So I just find it kind of interesting that people would even think that there's a. Well, he knows everything. I'll just leave it at that. He knows. Supposedly, he knows everything, and there it is. So.
How was that for an answer, by the way?
That was a very good answer.
Okay.
That was a very good
I ask you that often because I'm just like, does that answer your question? Did you expect something better?
No. I actually, I'm glad that you're answering the questions in its entirety. If you do have multiple answers to a question or multiple, ways to answer it, do it that way. Because the whole point of this is just not to really debate with anybody. It's just more or less to say, hey, look, I know a person who's an atheist. They're a good person. This is their belief system. This is my belief system, and we're both fine. We're not out here like kicking people's doors in and stealing their cars. Like, so.
Yep.
Do you really need to have a religious framework to be a good person? It helps, I would say.
I wouldn't say that either. But go ahead.
That form of indoctrination. I think it helps a little bit. Just having that little form of indoctrination is insane. Just having that. But once you start going beyond that part, that's when it gets a little crazy.
Yep. I mean, you're right about that. I mean, look, you got people. You hear about this from people all the time. Man, before I was religious, I used to go around robbing stores. I used to go around getting into fights with random people. I was an incredibly jealous and controlling boyfriend/husband or whatever. And then I found God, and I'm not like that anymore. Okay, so clearly you're capable of not being a complete asshole. Why are you using the church as an example? I mean, there's a lot of different help you can get just because you found church. Maybe it's taking his time. The church might be helping as far as, like, say, we just talked about the social construct. Maybe connecting with people might be helping calm his nerves. Maybe it convinces him more to not be such an ass because he doesn't want all these people to hate him to a place where that accepted him into the church.
Right. How do you feel about the whole "you have to believe first to understand" aspect of approaching religion?
I talked about that too.
How do you feel about that?
I
believe the correct word for that is faith.
So. It's funny that you say that because I also covered this.
Okay.
I'm sure you've heard it. It's like, man, God won't speak to me. God won't, I can't, I don't hear anything from him. I'm trying, blah, blah, blah. And then you got people saying, well, it's because you're doing it wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Doing what wrong? Talking to God, you're doing it wrong. You've got to say the salvation prayer. Have you heard about the salvation prayer?
Maybe
it's the prayer. It's the prayer that you say that saves your soul. Have you not heard about that? I don't
Is
know
that
the
the?
prayer, by the way. I don't know it by heart.
I might have. I'm pretty sure I have. I just don't. I'm just so far removed from it now. I just don't remember what it might be.
So one of my family members, when I was younger, he was one of them. You're not doing it right because you haven't said the salvation prayer. Your soul's not saved. God's not going to talk to you until your soul is saved. All right. He goes, so yeah, so repeat after me. And he gave me a whole prayer to repeat. And he goes, there, now your soul is saved. And I look around like, fucking nothing happened. Right? But according to him, God should have been talking to me. But it made me think about it. It's like, okay, well, maybe God's not talking to me because maybe I'm not officially saved. Maybe I didn't mean the prayer. Maybe I didn't do that right. But then it got me thinking, why do you need to be a member of the club to become a member of the club? You know, why do you need the salvation prayer for God to talk to you? Who's the first person that came up with the salvation prayer? Who gave it to him? Was it God? He shouldn't have, because he didn't say the salvation prayer. God's not talking to anybody who's not saying the salvation prayer.
Oh, okay. Well, no, I'm gonna throw a loophole here because somebody just said something.
Oh,
They said, "Isn't atheism just another form of a religion?"
oh, I love that one. It's a lack of religion. And the reason they
Okay.
say it's a religion is because they keep seeing so many atheists coming together. Once again, back to our social construct conversation from earlier. We want people to relate to. For example, Harry Potter. I love bringing up Harry Potter. I don't even like Harry
Yep,
Potter, but
good old Harry. I like Harry.
I don't even like Harry Potter, but it's a good example on multiple accounts. What happens when you go to a Harry Potter convention? Is there a
Well,
lot of people there? Is there a lot of people who have their own wands and gowns and witch hats and trying to
yep,
look like Harry and
true.
chanting the spells that he did? Is that a religion? Or is that just a big fan base?
Big fan base.
There's your,
I would say it's a big fan base.
there's your answer.
Okay, all right. Well, let's go back to faith a little. Let's go back to faith really quick.
Okay. I'm having fun, by the
Um,
way.
do atheists have faith? It doesn't have to be a religion, but do you have a certain level of faith with? I can't think of anything, but do atheists have faith?
Do you know what the definition of faith?
I do a
Okay.
little bit.
Okay. I love that answer, by the way. Just the way you said it, you're
I
like,
was, well, I mean, I do know what it is, but I I'm wondering because faith can be applied to so many different things.
Yes, you're not
Even
right.
though
You're not wrong about that. Yep.
I know that more like agnostic and atheists have like the exact opposite of faith, which is like doubt. But it's kind of like, do you have a certain level of faith? Do you think?
Faith usually means believing in something without needing proof.
Right.
Okay. Now, I mean, if you want to count it as, oh, I believe my friend Black Tony Stark will answer my message today because he is such a good friend. I have faith to believe
Hell
that.
with you.
Doesn't mean it's real
Okay.
because I usually have to
I
bug
mean, I
you
have,
later on saying, check your goddamn messages. But I'm not saying you're not a good friend.
right. Right.
Okay. But it's believing in
Well,
something without proof, right?
would you say that you have faith in science though? Because there are certain aspects of science that just can't be. You know, it's science. We just don't have
I am
the
loving.
the equipment.
I'm
Either
loving
the
your.
equipment.
Sorry. Go ahead. Finish your sentence. I keep
Oh, I
interrupting you.
like. All right. So, for instance, do you have faith in science? Like, okay, we know you believe in science, and there's certain things in the scientific community that we just can't explain. We just don't know why. We know it's there. We've looked at it, but we just don't know why it happens. Either we don't have the equipment, or nobody's smart enough to figure it out. So, would you say that you have faith in science?
Um, Answering that is a little bit more difficult than I would like, and I'll give you.
Okay.
Excuse me, I'm burping. I'll give you the reason why. Um, I did originally like the whole saying of, "Oh, have faith in science," right? It's like, oh, because science proves things to be real or not real. But then again, there's no such thing as an absolute proof. We could be saying right now eggs are good for you, and then we found out eggs weren't good for you, and then we found out later that eggs actually were good for you. All that because of science. But we found out they are actually good for you because even though it's got high cholesterol, which is why we said that they were bad for you, was because their high amount of cholesterol had nothing to do with your amount of cholesterol. So you could be eating a bunch of eggs and your cholesterol won't matter. It's a different kind of cholesterol altogether. But all that had to do with science. We found out there was cholesterol, and then we found out later had nothing to do with yours. So science proves things by proving itself wrong, right? So many people are like, oh, scientists are all on the same page, and it's a big conspiracy theory. It's like, no, they actually get paid more to prove each other wrong. If a scientist says, hey, this is the way it is, and he gets some sort of medal or something, and it usually comes with a nice check, and that is that. That's like in the books. And then another scientist come around saying, actually, you're wrong, and here's my proof. That scientist now gets a new medal, and he also gets a big check. So their biggest thing is proving each other wrong. Having faith in science, I do like the saying of that because science likes proof. But you can't have complete faith in science because proof is always changing because we keep getting more and newer variables.
Right.
Okay. That was a mouthful.
Evolution. Yeah, no, it's good, Dustin. Twitch actually has this really cool feature. I feel like I haven't seen you in a minute. Yeah, I hadn't been on in a while, Red Panda. I streamed yesterday, and then before that was like a week before that, and then I think before that was like 6 months. So it was like I haven't been on.
I remember Red Panda games.
Yeah, I have been going through life, but welcome in. For those who are just coming in, I'm talking with Dustin YDU. We're having a very interesting conversation about religion. Dustin is an atheist and a good friend of mine. So I just thought it would be good to just like sit down. He does have a podcast. I'm going to post up all the links for Dustin. I'm at work right now, but I'll be listening on the download. Yeah, please do. I'm going to post up all the links for Dustin before we end this. That way you can go check him out on YouTube. TikTok preferably. His TikTok is awesome. You have to check it out. He talks about a lot of different topics: political, religious, weird, quirky shit.
I was gonna say random funny stuff. Yep.
Yeah, just weird, quirky, funny stuff. And then you also can catch him on Twitch as well. But they actually have a cool feature on here, Dustin. That's called Start Viewer Call-ins. I don't know if you saw that.
Start what?
Start Viewer Call-ins.
They have that? I just got what you said and it clicked. Okay.
So I'm gonna open it up. I don't know if anybody's gonna go in, but I'm gonna open it up. So this is, guys, I'm gonna set this up. I'm about to do it now.
That is
for anybody who comes in,
freaking brilliant.
Who's watching? Me and Dustin will be still chatting and talking, but everybody who comes in who's watching, feel free to chime in. I do ask that you hold some decorum and respect. No insults. It's not an insult zone. If you disagree with them, disagree respectfully.
It's not a ban-free zone.
Yeah, it's not a ban-free zone, but I don't want you coming up here saying you're an idiot because you're an atheist. I want you to come up here with a good point and say, hey, well, look, I have a question, and I'm pretty sure Dustin can answer it.
I mean, you could always follow that up, though, right? You can always just be like, well, why am I an idiot? What makes you think I am?
That's true. Yeah. Well, I'm going to hit it, and we'll see if anybody comes in, and we'll do that. I do have some more questions for you, too.
By the way, I cannot seem to figure out how to get my camera to join yours. Like, I was able to, but it said, oh, your camera's busy. And I'm like, yeah, I'm on OBS on my own channel.
OBS. Yeah, mine is, too. So, you know what? I think I had to turn it off on OBS. I mean, I had to turn mine off for Streamlabs, and I could turn it on. You know,
it told me to make a virtual one through my OBS, and it was giving me how-tos, and I'm just like, man, I don't have time for that. I'm live. Why are you giving me this information now?
That's right. Okay, so all right, here's a good one. This one's from Emily.
Oh.
She says, I wish you could see my other because see, I'm multicasting to like Facebook and all different places, so I'm getting like chats from all over the place right now. Holy shit. Emily says, um, this is not really a question, Emily. You just asked where was God during the Holocaust. No, she says where was God during the Holocaust? Apparently he wasn't around.
I was about. Oh no! I accidentally closed it.
So, I mean, do you want me to ask him? No, that's not really a question. I, that's a weird question, but all right. But oh, here's another one. Do you believe in free will? This is more of like a philosophical question. It's not really atheist thing, is it? This is. She said, "Do you believe in free will?"
I mean,
He, can I answer that for you, Dustin?
yeah, go for it. I've been talking my ass off.
He, he's an atheist. He believes in free will. Like, I mean, have you been listening to the entire thing? He's an atheist. Yes, he believes in free will. I'm pretty sure he does. All right, Dustin, if you want to answer that too, you can. But yeah, I'm sure he believes in free will, guys.
Who are you talking to? By the way, did you have another stream open or something?
Yeah, I got another screen open, and I'm getting questions from there too. So,
Where are you streaming from besides this one? If you don't mind me asking.
I'm streaming on Facebook, Kick.
All right, we're gonna have to talk
Twitch.
after the show, so you can like help me get set up for all that stuff.
Yeah, I'm doing all of them right now. The only one I couldn't I did sign up for TikTok and they did approve me to be able to stream, but here's the sucky thing. I can't use Streamlabs to do it. I'd have to like stream on TikTok Studio and then multicast to Facebook, Twitch, and all. I would literally have to use their platform, which means I have to set up all my overlays and stuff. I just don't want to do that right now.
Okay.
So, but yeah, of course.
Let me see. Let me see if that works. Nope, not working. Cool. Okay.
Okay, here's a very interesting question. What is your favorite thing about being an atheist? that, that's an interesting question.
It
I didn't know there was a downside to it, but okay.
right. There. I mean, as far as I can tell, there is no downside.
Yeah.
Well, look, I like to look at it like this. So now, put yourself in the mind of a religious person for just a minute.
Okay.
Okay. Now imagine you're walking down like a dirt path, right? There's plants everywhere. You're following a river. There's fish jumping, out of the water, back into the water, back and forth. What are your thoughts if you're a religious person? Like, it's beautiful scenery, but what are your exact thoughts?
Well, if I go back to my Christian upbringing, look at what God made.
Yeah, you'd be like, wow, God made this. Wow, God made that.
Yeah.
Wow, God is great. He made all this. Okay, now get rid of the religious bullshit and and think of the other thing.
Okay.
It's like wow.
Look at the fish.
These plants are gorgeous. I wonder what kind they are, and wow, they're this color, like they're purple or something. Evolution over millions of years, they slowly became purple. I wonder if there's a purpose for it. I wonder if they're toxic for that reason. God had nothing to do with it. I'm thinking about evolution. As you look at the stream, it's like wow, an entire aquatic life is going on down there, and I'm not part of it. You have animals down there eating each other. There fish jumping out of the water. I wonder why they're jumping out of the water. Are they trying to capture food? Are they avoiding something? What made them? You got so much more thoughts going in. There's a lot of research, and you could research all of that stuff that I'm talking about right now. And guess what? It's fucking far more fascinating than saying God made it.
It is. But I think, you know what, I kind of feel like people, like I was saying earlier, having a religion is just a bubble of protection for stuff you just don't understand, and you could just say it away. Like, well, I don't know why. I don't want to try to figure out why. I'm just gonna say this is why, and people, and believe it or not, with the exception of you and me and a few other people, are the only ones who question that and say, "Well, why?" Who? Because most times when somebody does that, well, I don't understand that God this. People just choose to leave it alone. They're like, "Oh, okay, you're one of them. I'm back up from this.
you're
Leave it alone."
you're one of them.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to say it like like I said, I don't have anything against anybody who has religion.
Hey, UK
I
dude.
think,
Sorry, UK dude
yeah.
came in. Haven't seen him in a minute.
Oh, yeah. Like I was saying, I have nothing against religion. I tell people all the time, they're so surprised when they're like, "You grew up in a church?" Yeah. Look how I turned out. Like, you know what I mean? Oh, someone. This is a really good question because I never knew. I don't know this myself. Are there different types of atheism?
I mean, there's many types of everything. And I'll give you a basic one that I was talking about. It has nothing really to do with the religion, but yeah, I think you'll get my point.
Right.
So, I'm going to talk about race for 2 seconds. You're black, right?
Okay. Right.
Are you an asshole because you're black?
No,
Are you a nice guy because you're black?
not really.
Okay. So if somebody's a Christian, does that mean they're an asshole?
Nope.
Does that mean they're a nice person?
No, not indeed.
I've met different types of every person of every type of person. There are asshole atheists. There are stupid atheists who they don't believe for no reason other than they're stubborn. Like, I ain't believing shit. Well, you want to know the research? Nope. All right, then. You know,
Yeah.
you got smart ones. I'm an atheist because I studied the Bible. I studied biography and geology and all that stuff. You got smart, you got stupid, you got asshole, you got nice. There is many different types of atheists. Now, if your question is more geared towards, I don't believe in God because of certain reasons. Yeah, I mean, I think I just covered that, actually. Some people are just
Right.
stubborn, and some people don't believe for a reason.
Exactly. Well, well, once I kind of hit that age of reasoning, for me, it was like that's when I started. Here's one. This is the one that got me.
Uh-oh. Sorry.
When I was growing up, we had Santa,
Oh,
the Easter Bunny,
yep.
the Tooth Fairy.
Yeah, you got me
What's
excited
another
for a
one we
second.
had? Oh yeah, we had Santa, the Easter Bunny, the Tooth Fairy. When I was growing up, I was taught that I was going to get money from the Tooth Fairy. Eventually, I started getting money from the Easter Bunny. All the presents that my parents and my dad slaved for came from Santa. And now that I'm at the age of reasoning, you come to me and you tell me that I'm supposed to believe this mysterious guy, literally started walking on water and woke up after 3 days of sleep. And like, how do you coerce somebody into believing something when you literally raised them into a fantasy world?
Yeah, I mean, they fill you with all sorts of beliefs, and they throw Jesus in there along with it. And
Yeah, and it's like, huh? Like, no, you just convinced me that there was a 450-pound guy who brought presents down the chimney that we don't own because we live in the projects and dropped this shit up under my tree. Are you kidding me?
And do you remember questioning that and your parents giving excuses? It's like, we don't have a chimney. How does Santa come in? Oh, he goes through the heater vents or something, right? Like, they always give excuses.
You know what, Dustin? I never did question it. It wasn't like I said. It wasn't until I got to high school where I was just like, I started sitting back thinking. I was like, wait a minute. Like, I mean, of course, I didn't believe in Santa at that age. I knew what it was. Mom, I did good this year. Can you buy me a PlayStation? Okay, go. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? I knew, but could you imagine if I just had that thought process when I was like 9 years old? Like, wait a minute, we don't have a chimney.
By the way, UK dude says he hates Santa because he gets coal.
Well, hell, listen. Tell UK dude. Donald Trump said he's bringing coal back, man. He's bringing coal back. So we're going to be all good. That's going to be our new clean form of energy. It's going to be cleaner than electricity. I promise you.
By the way, I got to point this out before I forget because I do that. You were talking about the Easter Bunny, Santa, all that stuff, right?
Right.
Now, the 10 Commandments of Christianity, number 9 is you shall not bear false witness against your neighbor. In other words, no lying.
Right.
Okay? Now, it is also in their beliefs that no two deadly sins are worse. Okay? You shall, yeah. So in other words, lying is just as bad as everything else. Okay?
Huh.
So when people come to you and say abortion is murder, they're going to hell. They should be, we need to make this a Christian country where if people have abortions, they go to prison. It's like, okay, well, if we're going by your Bible, you don't believe that two major sins are not worse than the other. And they're like, right.
Right.
Well, do you think parents who tell their kids that Santa's not real or is real and the Easter Bunny is real, are you saying they should go to prison? And he goes, well, no. It's like, well, then you just told me two different things because number 9 on the 10 Commandments says you cannot lie. You can't bear false witness. That's false witness. You saw Santa. You saw the Easter Bunny. So why is committing murder? Why are you saying that's worse if they're the same? If neither sin is worse? Yeah, you're totally confusing me. See him fumble with that.
Yeah, that's yeah. I don't know. It's just it's weird. It's really weird. How things are just oh man, indoctrination is a hell of a thing, Dustin.
Yeah.
It really is. It's a hell of a thing. Like I even remember growing up, like just thinking sometimes, like, what? I know where this came from. You don't have to lie to me. Like, you know what I mean? And, so, but.
Oh yeah, I asked so many questions when I was. Did I?
When you were growing up.
Yeah, there's your stream. I lost you for a second. Okay. Yeah, I asked so many questions about the Tooth Fairy, the Easter Bunny, all them, and I kept getting excuses. Well, he's magic.
Okay.
Last I heard, witchcraft was, kind of against Christianity. It's not witchcraft.
Indeed,
then what is magic? You just told me that Harry Potter is evil because it has to do with magic. I think that's why I bring up Harry Potter so much.
Well, yeah, Harry Potter is definitely the base of that. Yeah, well, I mean, I prefer the Easter Bunny, but we can let the kids have the Easter Bunny.
Yes, eggs that, if they're laid the same way chickens are, comes out its butt.
Or like I said, you can believe in the Easter Bunny.
But
like to stuff those little kids with eggs.
By the way, UK dude is talking about our president. Goes, I can't stand the guy. Never liked him before he became president. I certainly don't like him now. The only thing he's done that is good is that he made the British pound worth even more than the US dollar.
Oh goodness. Well, I mean, we can delve into other stuff too. It doesn't have to be religious.
No. You're fine. I'm happy to talk about a little bit of everything. So.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm on the fence about Donald Trump in general. One thing, I was trying to tell people, there's a code. There's a code that we have. Like, people from New York live by a different code. We're New Yorkers first, and then we're everything else kind of behind it. I don't know if it's the same for. I know you're in New York, but you're more like upstate. I don't know if it's the same mindset, but I know like people like from the city, Manhattan, all that. We're New Yorkers first. So as much as I don't like him, he's a New Yorker first.
Oh, I see. So, I see what you're getting at. Okay.
Yeah, so it's kind of like
it's almost,
I don't like him. I don't like them, but it's the same aspect of like, okay, like I went to New York, right, and like maybe 2 weeks ago, and I was hanging out. So I went there, and it's kind of like, okay, I don't like this guy across the street from me, whatever he may be. He could be green. Let's just say he's green.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like the green guy across the street from me,
What a
but I don't
dick.
like the purple. I don't like the purple guy who just showed up either, right? But you know what? Me and him are New Yorkers, so we're gonna band together and not like the purple guy. That's how I feel about Joe. So it's like,
So you consider it more of like I'm just gonna say it like a family thing, even though it's not quite a family thing because
well, it's to me, it's an understanding for me because it's like I think people don't understand where he's from. Like some of the stuff he says is not anything that's outrageous. It's only outrageous because he's the president and he's on TV and he has the media.
no
I've
things he
heard
says is pretty
half this
outrageous, but
shit.
I'll let you
It
continue.
is, but I've heard half of that shit like on the subway. Like it's like okay, you're just not on the subway. You're just on Fox News right now.
Yeah,
Like you
but
know
the
what I mean?
people that
So
are in the subway we don't elect to be president either.
exactly. Well, that's what the problem entails. You had a
Hmm.
whole bunch of people that was just like, that's okay. Like, look, I knew it was going off the rails when he said grab the women by the pussy. I was like, okay, this guy is done. He's done. Like, you can't, like, at that point, you're literally saying that you just approve sexual harassment. It's okay to just do that. And it's okay. Like, that was the breaking point for me. Like, I was just like, I wouldn't have did
That
that for
was
that.
your breaking point? I mean,
Yeah,
it's a good breaking point. Don't get me wrong.
oh yeah, before he got elected, when that video recording came out where he said that, I was just like, that was enough right there for me to be like, okay, I'm writing him off. There's nothing to talk about. I don't care what his policies is. Like you walk
Thank
around
you.
and
Go.
like you just literally sit here and said that it's okay to sexually harass women. That's assault women actually. That's not good. Like I don't care what your policies is. You can be like, hey, I'm gonna give everybody free health care. Yeah, but you just like you okay sexually assault women.
That
I
is
don't care about that.
literally what I tell a lot of people. I'm like, I don't care if he's the best president we ever had. Let's just say for all
Yeah.
argument's sake that he was the best president we've ever had. You know,
Right.
he fixed the country, all that stuff. So my dad has a gimp for an arm, right? He has one good arm,
Okay.
fully functional. He has one arm.
Okay.
It sits at his side and sort of bends into his towards his stomach area. He can barely move it an inch, right?
Right.
Trump made fun of a guy who had a gimp arm who was working. He was a reporter. He could have gotten
Right.
disability for the rest of his life, but he decided to work. The president elect, anyway,
Right.
made fun of him on live TV. And I'm like, you know what? That's my breaking point. I don't care if you're the best person we've ever had, best president we ever had. I don't condone people who make fun of disabled people.
Exactly. So I think for everybody, it's just
It's warm in here.
what niche did he touch of yours that you don't find him savory? Actually, I got another question that just came in, Dustin. Here's a good one. And for those who's coming in, who's new, you guys know me. I'm Tony. This is my buddy Dustin. We're having a really deep conversation about religion and atheism and amongst other things.
Ooh.
So,
I just got I posted that we're live, by the way. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
oh no, you're fine. You're fine.
I was just posting live right now, talking to a friend about questions about atheism, questions from random people,
Random
and
people.
so someone answered, atheism is a delusion. Do you want me to prove it to you?
Well,
I say
do you want?
come on in. Where you at? You haven't commented nothing.
Yeah, come on in. As a matter of fact, for those who's joining in, the call line is open. You're welcome to call in. It's audio only. You
Actually,
can talk to Dustin. You can ask questions.
I,
You can talk to me. You can
I'm
ask
gonna do
questions. You can ask me questions.
I'm gonna do that
So,
really quick. I'm gonna click your share button, copy your URL, go to his comment, and go. The call-in lines are open right here, bro.
call lines are open. You're
But
welcome to call in. I've got it wide open. I think the only thing you need to have is a Twitch account. I think you only need a Twitch account, but it's not geared to subs or anything. It's wide open. You can call in. But check this out, Dustin. I just got another question.
Okay. If you don't mind,
Hold on.
after this one, I just need to take like a 3 to 5 minute break.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, cool. He says, "Is atheism a choice or a natural state of being?" And by this, he's saying when we're born, we don't necessarily have a code, a religious code, or what have you. So he's saying, is it a choice or is it just a natural state of being when we're born, and it changes to something as we get older?
I'm going to need you to repeat it because I think I missed part of it.
Okay, so he asked me. He said, "Is atheism a choice
Oh.
or a natural state of being?" And then he expounded and said, when we're born, we don't have any religious constructs. We're not geared towards this or geared towards that. So he's saying, is it more of a natural state of being when you're born? You're just born atheist and then you choose Christianity, or is it a choice as you get older and you just make that choice?
Well, I don't know any 2-year-olds who are having such, intellectual discussions in their head about if there's anything else other than what they're seeing. Meanwhile, they're trying to learn about everything in the world, including language. Right. But, I guess I can use this as an example. I don't know if it's a great example, but let's just say you believe that grasshoppers are purple. There might be purple grasshoppers out there, but I'm just using it as an example.
Okay.
Okay, you just believe that. For some reason, you believe that. Maybe someone told you. Maybe your parents told you. Indoctrination. And then you finally grow up a little bit, and you go outside for the first time in your life, and you're just like, that grasshopper's fucking green. Mom, Dad, grasshoppers are green. No, they're purple. I got proof right here that they're green. And at least, they're not all purple. There's green ones. Nope, they're all purple. It's like,
right.
I feel like that's a relatively decent metaphor example type thing because, yeah, I really do need to take a couple minute break to compose my head a little bit.
Take a break, man.
But
yeah, absolutely. I know this is a lot, right? They're coming at you hard, man, but you chose it. You're an atheist.
Oh, I would have been taking a break regardless. Like I could have been playing a game. I'm like, I'll be back.
I know. I'm just messing with you, buddy. All right, yeah. Shoot, let's take a break. I'm gonna go grab another bottle of water, and I know you. I'm sorry, guys. I've been coughing a lot. The pollen is tearing my throat up, but I'm gonna grab another bottle.
Allergies
of water.
Are bad this year.
Yeah, my eyes were itching so bad. I had to wash them three times yesterday. I got this little eye wash. I just been. It was killing me, man. It was killing me. I'm surprised because I didn't see the levels of like normally Georgia's like completely yellow at this point, but it was only like that for like a week, and then after that, I guess something else was picked up, whatever it is. So,
all right, I just responded to that guy, so we'll see how that goes. I will.
Yeah, tell him to come on in.
Yep. Okay, I will be back in just a few. I won't be too long.
All right.
See you in a bit. I have a be right back screen. That's right. There we go. The guy answered me, by the way. He goes, man, I don't have time for that. Just shoot me a DM and we can DM each other. No.
Why is that always the go-to when you ask them to prove their point on something that he's making a valid point to you. He literally comes to you and says, it's a form of delusion or whatever. And you say, okay, well, come on, let's talk about it. And you say you don't have time for it. You had enough time to put it out there, but now you don't have time to back it.
Yeah, now you don't have time? I mean, he was able...
That is so classic. That's classic.
He had time. He like, between the time he first said it and the time he answered after I replied to him, he had time to come back and give us 5 minutes of his time, to...
Yeah.
It's like, give me your points. Yeah.
That's all. I actually want to hear that. Like, why do you think that's delusional? Because On our end, on my side of the family, on this the agnostic Christian side, it's kind of like if there's anything, any form of delusion, it's really over here. Just being honest, but yeah, there's plenty of delusion on this side of the street. Just being, yeah, just so you know. So I'm not getting, I don't get where he's going with that one. But good luck, buddy.
I just
Good luck.
I just found how you can add someone to your favorites, by the way.
Ah, yeah, we're gonna have to look at that. But yeah,
Added.
all right. So, all right. So
if I send you an invite, would it work that way? So we'd both be co-streaming, so to speak?
yeah, I think it would.
I just sent it to you.
All right, let me see. Oh,
Is it invite sent?
where is it at? Is it because we're both streaming right now?
Go to my channel quick, see if because that's how I was able to join yours.
Go to your channel. Okay, let's go to yours. Why do you? Wow, that's a lot of people freaking co-streaming. I didn't know that was the same.
Yeah, a buddy of mine's been doing it for a while, but I never cared about it because I'm just like, so what? You know, if I'm playing games with
Oh,
friends.
it says we're live. Oh, shoot. Yeah, it says we're live.
Did you request to join or something, or is it already like that?
Yeah, I think it says we're already live together.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, that's freaking good to know that I didn't know about.
Yeah, it says it started. Yeah, I see you added this. All right, cool, nice, Dustin. Look at you, buddy.
I'm jumping on my
alright,
channel
so
to
look,
see
I
if it
gotta-
says anything. But okay, go ahead. Oh, it is. There it is.
Alright,
I see
so-
it now. Yep. Your turn.
All right, so this person says, I don't even know who this is. I can't pronounce your name. I'll let you answer this. I'm pretty sure I know what you're gonna say, but they were saying how do you explain the problem of evil?
The problem
'Cause
of
if you
evil?
don't-
Is that what you said?
Yeah, the problem of evil, if that makes sense.
I know exactly what. Okay, no, I should say I have a feeling I know exactly what they're going to be talking about, because there was a movie that was talking about how good can't exist without evil.
Okay.
Because they use the example, does darkness exist? And the professor says, yes. Goes, no, darkness is is just the absence of light. And I'm like, okay, I'll give you that. Good example. Irrelevant to your case, but it is a good example.
Right.
You know, so they like to bring that up. So can good exist without evil? It's like, I mean, God himself said he manifested evil. It's like, there's a lot of evil in the world, the type of thing that brings you pain, that gives other people pain, that gives animals pain. There's a lot of pain in the world that we would just plain consider evil.
Right.
Now, what if none of that pain ever existed? What if we didn't know pain? You know, what if we didn't know evil? Everybody's like always cozy. Nobody wants for anything. You know, it's like if you want tacos, you got tacos. If you know, nobody's getting sick, nobody's dying. You know, everyone's happy. Birth may not even be a thing because it's not programmed into us because nobody's dying, so why have more people?
Right.
I feel like good if God is the one that made everything. If God made good, he didn't have to make evil.
We could have just made all good, right?
That's what I'm saying. He manifested
But
it.
wouldn't that I guess wouldn't that be counterproductive to what he's trying to prove? Wouldn't that kind of just upset the balance?
What's he trying to prove?
That's what I'm asking.
I don't have a.
But you see how that's kind of loaded. Like, what is he trying to prove? He's the all-knowing being. There's nothing to prove. But then it seems like
UK dude actually.
creating.
I'm sorry to interrupt you.
Oh, go ahead.
UK dude just actually made said it very well. He goes, "You need good and bad to claim either, or you have no frame of reference."
Oh, very good. That makes a lot of sense.
That's a very good way to put it.
That is a very good way to put it. But even that can be skewed, like your frame of reference. Like for instance, yeah, you got to have good and evil to uh, have a frame of reference. But at what point does that stop? I mean, if even the Bible endorses ethnic cleansing.
Yes.
Yeah, it endorses ethnic cleansing and genocide and subjugation of women. I mean, at some point in time, where does that line get drawn? Like the problem I think with it is we draw that line. It would have been I think it would have been a little different if the line was drawn by God itself. But the problem is we draw that line.
And you know what? Excuse me. If you truly believed in free will given by God was the reason for the evil because he gave us the free will to do whatever we want, good or bad. Well, if we didn't have free will, again, if all this free will given by God thing is true, if he didn't give us free will, it would all be good. Would there be any?
True.
Would there be any pain? Would we even need pain receptors in our evolutionary bodies to be able to say, "Oh, don't touch that. That's bad." We wouldn't need any of that. So, in my opinion, God is just making good and evil to play. I want to see what happens. I'm bored.
Well, my obvious go-to is well, this is not my belief, but you know me, I like to push the envelope. My obvious go-to is I like to trigger people when I say, "Well, remember in the beginning we were walking around in a garden just perfectly fine." But it's mostly just to trigger the women when I say this. This is the ladies that I work with. I'm like, yeah, but if it wasn't for you guys, I'd still be in the garden, right? All you had to do is not listen to the talking snake and eat the fruit, and I would have been fine. I'd just be chilling somewhere up under a tree, butt naked. But but it's always that's just a joke I run with them. All the time.
There was another joke recently. What was it? It had something to do with like how men are liars. He goes, "How much you want to bet Eve didn't even eat that apple?" That's just something Adam made up and told God that.
Oh my God. That just goes right along the lines of the whole women never take accountability for anything, which that's not true, but
Dom,
my social media is just going crazy right now with that. So
Dom rocks
man,
music. Yo yo yo, how we doing, lads? How you doing? Oh, I got another first
hey,
time.
what's up?
I got another first time chatter. I feel like
All right,
this
well,
one's
go
got a
ahead.
real opinion. I like this. I feel like comparison is necessary, but only to a certain extent. What about comfort versus discomfort? Those two are subsets of good and evil, and all this can be found naturally without the need for attributing actions to a god. Well, that's the whole point, isn't it? If God wasn't a contributing factor, let's just say again, for all argument's sake, God is real and he made all this, we wouldn't need discomfort or comfort. This has everything to do with free will. And he made it all. He's just like, you know what? In order for people to feel better, I gotta make them feel worse. Can we just be neutral? I feel like I would be better
Yeah, that's
if it was all neutral. I'm not saying at all that what you're saying is being disregarded at all, because I really do like that example. Go ahead, Tony.
a good question. You know what, Dustin? I haven't got any more questions in yet. Um, but there is something I did want to talk to you about, and I kind of want to know what your thoughts were on it. Um, right now, um, I'm kind of at the my wits end with the LGBTQ community, and I'm gonna tell you why.
All right, you first, and then I'll tell you mine.
Okay, I'm kind of at my wits end with them because it's it feels to me like there are certain battles that they bring to the forefront that kind of puts a target on your back. Like it's one of those things where it's kind of like, just kind of leave it alone. If you know what I mean. Like there's certain battles and stuff that they like. One of the ones that they were arguing about was when they pulled the statue down in Boston. I was just like, it's a statue. Like, did you really have to hold up 4 hours of traffic to complain about pulling down a statue?
Now, okay, couple
But
things I want to touch on there.
and I get why they're upset. I get why they're upset. It's supposed to be like a mark to their becoming their who they are.
Thank you
But
for the follow.
the the problem that I feel about arguing that is there you go with that line being drawn. Like, okay, so you upset about them pulling down a statue of that, but then you're gonna have another group come up. Well, you guys didn't have the same, you know, reference for the statue of the slave owners that were up. Where was the fight for that? So that's kind of where I'm at with it. It's kind of like I'm okay with the whole activism part of it, but sometimes it's kind of like, you know what? Is it really worth it? Is it really worth it? What point did you prove?
I get what you're saying, and you touched on a lot of points there, by the way.
I know. I know. I'm sorry. I was kind of random, but to me, it was kind of like, what point did you prove? Because my point is, I feel like activism is supposed to encourage and empower everybody, but to a certain point.
Now, what did
But
we?
then,
Okay. I'll let you finish your sentence. Go ahead.
it's supposed to encourage and empower everybody to a certain point. But when it gets to that point where you're pissing people off and you're pushing them away from your agenda, that's when I think you're going too far.
So, what did we talk about earlier? There's nice people and there's assholes in every race, every thing.
Creed,
I have a neighbor. He's a MAGA Republican, but he is an incredibly nice guy. Like, it doesn't matter what you are, what race you are, what sexual preference or pronouns you use. If you're being ganged up on or unfairly treated, he'll jump right in front of you
right?
to help. Okay? Now, he's afraid to talk to any LGBTQ people, especially trans people, because he's the first time he met one, he said, I thought it was a girl. I said, excuse me, ma'am. He said he got ripped apart. And, that person was bitching at him. It's like, you don't ever assume someone's gender. You should ask first, blah, 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 blah. And he goes, man, I can't talk to them. And I'm just like, dude, you found an asshole.
Yeah, you just found an asshole.
I went to a pride event and everybody was so nice. You could talk to everybody and say, oh, I love your outfit. It doesn't matter if they were boy, girl, trans, everything. Oh, thank you so much, with a smile on their face. It was a beautiful thing, right? Now, I feel like that's where you're coming from, because a group of assholes got together, held up traffic, and I call them extremists because, bro, you shouldn't be inconveniencing people's lives just to be heard.
Just to be heard, yeah.
Okay,
Well,
I need to respond to Dom Rock's music. He asks if have I always been atheist? Or maybe he was asking most deaf stuff. I'm not sure. I'll answer anyway. I've technically always been atheist, but I've spent my entire life searching otherwise, and to no avail. I was talking earlier about how I had 2 Ouija boards, used them hundreds of times, and absolutely nothing happened. So even demons. I was like, I welcome demons. I welcome everything. Nothing happened outside of the physical world. So I'm just like, you know what? No proof.
Mm-hmm.
So that's basically my
Do you,
story.
do you feel like maybe something? Do you feel like maybe nothing happened because you generally didn't have that base belief?
According to anybody who believes that the Ouija board is going to summon something, you don't need a belief. Remember, it's a kid's game, and they say it's very dangerous. You
Right,
shouldn't mess
right,
with it. It doesn't mean they believe it.
right.
But
Because like what I'm well, let me kind of reframe that question. It's kind of like okay, um, because a Christian believes in demons so much,
uh-huh.
does it mean that their perception is just they're a lot more open to receiving it?
I think they're a
And
lot
maybe
more
you
open to seeing what they want to see.
okay.
Like if you're,
The
let's say you're
the
walking down the
placebo
street and it's dark out, you're afraid that someone's gonna jump out and stab you. You see something move at the corner of your eye, you flinch.
So you're thinking so yeah. So essentially, religion is like the placebo effect. Then the more you
I guess you can
believe,
word it that way. Yeah.
yeah, the more you believe you're sick, the sicker you are, or something like that. Like
Yeah, I mean that's what a hypochondriac is. They firmly
yeah,
believe that they're sick, and until they get proof that they're not sick, hey, here's your test results. Here's your leg. There's no cancer in it. Then they're like, huh, my leg suddenly doesn't hurt so much anymore because they convince themselves of it.
then you got something like, no, I'm still sick. You're wrong.
So
Well,
okay, so
these days doctors can technically be wrong
D-
nowadays. I
Dom
mean,
says, so Ouija stuff, does that mean you were into occult New Age stuff? I was into everything. Think of a religion and I gave it a try. So yes, I was also into that because I was looking for any kind of proof that there was something out there beyond the physical world. To answer your question. Okay.
have you dated anybody that was religious? For instance, I dated a girl who was Wiccan, and I have to say that was some of the best sex I've ever had.
Nah,
That girls with daddy issues. I love those daddy issues. Well, I tell you.
it honestly depends on value, okay? Because everyone's got their own beliefs. You know, no, even two atheists, they're not alike in every single way. As long
Of course.
as long as you guys have the same values, it's like, hey, my girlfriend, for example, she considers herself spiritual. In other words, she doesn't believe in
Okay.
God, but she believes in spirits, which I thought go hand in hand. But I don't rag on her on that. You know what I mean? Because
Right.
she doesn't believe in God. We do have a lot of the same beliefs. She has the biggest empathetic heart when it comes to, like, say, animals. Like, no animal gets hurt, not under my watch. I will jump into a burning building to save it, even if there's no way I'll survive. That poor animal, I'm going in. It's suffering.
Right.
Okay, that's one reason. That's one reason I'm with her, because we feel the same way when it comes to animals, and that's just one example. So, have I ever dated somebody who was religious? I mean, yes, but I think at the time I don't think I was that big into what I'm into now,
Okay.
except for this one girl, absolutely gorgeous, very, very, very nice girl, way too religious for me. She,
Yeah, that's what I was gonna go. I was gonna say how deep was because uh, I, I've met women where it was a date night was going to church on Sunday with them.
oh my
That was
god,
considered that
you
was
poor,
considered a date.
you poor dear.
Like you want to go to church with me on Sunday, and it was like I do, but there's a certain level of uncomfortability that I have when I go now at an older age.
I mean, you don't
So
believe it, so that you're kind of in there going, man, I don't believe any of this stuff. If one person gets word that I don't believe in any of this stuff, they're gonna get everybody talking to me or talking about me. It's an uncomfortable feeling. I'm sure that's
oh
at
yeah,
least part
definitely,
of it.
definitely.
Um, but no, the girl I'm talking about, she was very nice. She cooked me dinner for our first date.
Oh,
Cambodian girl, never had Cambodian food before. She was an immigrant, and spicy, that food. I went through 3 glasses of water and she felt guilty. She's like, "I'm sorry you don't like my food." And I'm like, "I love your
No, I
food.
like
The food
food.
is amazing, but it is hot."
Yeah, the food is just hot. That's all.
But she was thinking about going to school for biology so she could better her career, and I'm like, "Oh, that's awesome." And and then she goes, "What is biology? What would I be learning?" And I'm like, "Well, you're going to learn about a bunch of stuff. You're going to learn about, plants, animals, their scientific names, what they do, how they evolved." Dustin, you forget I'm Christian. I didn't.
Okay.
I didn't forget. I didn't forget. I'm just saying you're going to be learning about this stuff.
Right.
So I'm just like,
Right.
so I'm like, I hate to do this because you are a very nice person, but we're not going to work out.
Right. Understandable.
Dom Rocks Music says, "I was raised Catholic till 12. Hey, me too. Actually, I was raised Catholic until, probably around 12, actually. I became an atheist, then Buddhist at 20. Now I'm a perennialist Hindu at 27. I don't even know what that is."
I've never heard. Well, then again, there's freaking 9,000 religions on the planet, so it's kind of hard to keep track of them. Although the mainstream ones keep the limelight, but
Yeah, you're right about that.
I,
There's a lot of
I
religions.
just want to
Oh, go ahead.
I just want to meet somebody who worships the old God. That's all. I'm like, look, I just want to meet that one person who still prays to Zeus. That's it. That way I can have a no, I really do. Like, I want to meet somebody who, like, I just like talk to, and they're just like, God. I talk to Shiva, and it's like, really? Let's go have coffee. I want to hear your points of view about this shit. Like, I want to know what's going on.
I prayed to Bast for quite a few years. The Egyptian cat goddess Bast.
Yeah.
I had statues of her. I had the necklaces. I had a lot. And I firmly believed she was helping me. And I'm just like, and I even met a girl who was very pretty, very nice, also worshipped Bast. And I'm just like, yeah, there's a lot of gods, but this is the one I'm worshiping. I did that for a while. I firmly believed she was helping me out. And then every once in a while, my life would turn to shit. And I'm just like, Bast, what the hell? I thought we were good.
I feel like that's just things that happen. Like, you know what I mean? The universe acting in its way. The universe is indifferent to human nature anyway, so we already know that. So it's just that's what I feel like that is with your life. Like like I'm not gonna lie. I woke up this morning, I felt fine. Like 1 hour before we got started, I had a massive headache. Just came out of nowhere.
Is that why you were late?
And I was like, yeah, I ran to the store. I didn't have any.
Everything
I didn't have any
happens
pain
for a
meds.
reason.
Yeah,
Because I was late too.
I ran to the store, grabbed 2 pills, popped them, and I'm good to go now. So, yeah, but well, what am I going to blame that on something? Like, no, my body was just like, hey, I don't know what's going on, but you don't feel good right now. You'll be okay.
Most F Steph, thank you for the follow. And you know what? I was just thinking, I'm like, oh, everything does happen for a reason because I was late too. By the way, Dom says, talking about your Shiva and Zeus, he goes, lots of Shiva stuff out there in the world, but I think Zeus is a bit more rare.
Oh yeah, very rare. But that's why I would prefer to, like, if you meet somebody who's just like, yeah, you know what I mean. Here's my thing with the old Greek and Roman gods. Those particular deities possessed a lot of human qualities. Like, Zeus came down from the mountain and slept with the regular women. Like, you know what I mean? He had a kid with this.
So did the Christian guy.
Like, you know what I mean? Well, that one time.
Okay. Hey, it was just one time. Get off my back already. Okay.
It's not that one time. But, you know, Zeus was a known womanizer who would come down to earth and partake of his children's fruits and then go back to his little mountain up there somewhere in Olympus. Hermes, like, most of the gods were like they just possess this certain level of human quality. They just we're here, like you know what I mean, like. And so it's kind of interesting to find somebody who would like be like, yeah, you know, I could pray to a God that literally I could run into in a bar, and it's okay.
I mean,
Because
if I could sleep with a god, I mean that would be a once in a lifetime opportunity. I would take it myself.
well, it depends. You know, those they were some boy lovers back then.
My girlfriend just came back and she heard me say that and she put her arms up like, hello. You're already sleeping with a god.
There you go. But yeah, so yeah, I would definitely like to meet somebody who's you know what? I think I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna go on my social media.
You are such a dork.
I'm gonna throw out an APB to say, hey, if there's anybody out there who worships like Neptune, call me so we can have a conversation.
Yahweh, pretty human, getting jealous and stuff. And a UK dude says hello.
Hi.
She's even got a tiara. Come on, sit down next to me for a minute. She's got a tiara on.
And it's hurting my head, but it's okay.
She's a winner.
No, it's not.
Hi. What is with your hair?
Humidity.
Did you stick your head out the window while you were driving?
No.
I'm just picking on you.
Oh, the delay is cute.
So anyway.
Yeah. All right, so let's take a look at this here.
Such a prince.
Let me open this
Queen.
back
Sorry,
up.
Queen.
I can't believe we haven't gotten any callers yet.
Yeah, I'm surprised. I think people were a little afraid.
We're not going to
They're a
be
little
assholes to you. We'll be.
No, I think they're a little afraid.
Well, if you look at other atheist debate streams, a lot of them are pretty mean about it.
Pretty.
If they're mean,
Yeah, they're pretty.
Y'all can see it.
What?
If you're mean,
So we're not gonna be rude. This is open ended. Like this is just kind of like, hey, give us your point of view, and then we'll give you ours. That's all.
Speaking of, I told you, or you brought me on. This is more his show, by the way, but I'm still going to post it to my channel if that's okay.
No. Of course that's.
It's funny that you brought me on to ask me a bunch of questions that your coworkers had for me. Did I ever tell you about the coworker I had? We were friends because we believed in different things.
No, you hadn't.
And I deconverted her.
Really?
So.
How did you? Okay.
Yep. Oh, I'll give the story. I love telling this story. Okay. So, I forget her name, by the way, because it was very rare that I saw her. And I haven't seen her in a long time. You know, I left the job like over 10 years ago. It's been a long time. But now she's American, born and raised. Her parents were also, I think. And she met her husband in Morocco. If you know anything about Morocco, it's very Muslim-based, right?
Very.
Right. And you know Muslim countries, they've never even heard of a non-Muslim, let alone if you have questions about it. It's like, no, everyone's Muslim. That's all there is to it, right? They don't question that stuff. And for fear of being killed, mind you. Well, it depends on the country also. But, so she became Muslim. She converted to it for him so they could get married. He moved to the U.S. Very nice guy. I only met him like once. And
Okay.
So I worked with her, and we worked on opposite ends of the building, but I knew her beforehand, before she got married and met him, and she's now Muslim. And she goes, how? She goes, can I ask you a question? It's like, okay. And she started asking me belief questions. Do you believe this? Why or why not? Blah, blah, blah. And for example, do you believe everything happens for a reason? And I always said, no. And she goes, how do you not believe everything happens for a reason? I go, I believe everything happens, period. For a reason, not so much. And she goes, well, what if somebody experiences something and then something comes up later in life and they're able to deal with it? I'm like,
right.
It's called experience. Let me put it this way. Everything happens to everybody. Okay? Maybe not everything happens to everybody, but everything happens, right? So you could have 100,000 or million people experiencing the same exact situation that you did. Let's say it was a big, massive event, 100 million people experience the same thing.
Okay.
10 years later, something kind of like that happens to 5 people. Not going to affect the rest of the 100 million. Wow, it's a good thing I experienced that way back then because now I know how to deal with this.
Right.
So what the hell was the point of the other 100 million people experiencing that? Nothing. It did, and not, they don't experience it again for the rest of their lives. They die without ever using that knowledge. It didn't happen for a reason. So anyway, that was a tangent on its own. So that was our whole our whole relationship. Every day, me or her would ask the other one, "What do you believe? Do you believe in this or not, and why?" And she would tell me why I don't believe in the Bible or the Quran, and I told her the way the thinking atheist Seth Andrews says it. You can't look at it like with God glasses. You can't look at it like a love letter. As soon as you stop looking at it like a love letter and actually think about it logically, you're not going to look at it in the same light. So this went on for several months. About, several months later, she comes up to me and she's looking a little distraught. And I'm like, "What's the matter?" And she goes, "Dustin, I need to tell you something." "Okay, what? What happened?" And she goes, "Now, I don't want you to laugh at me." And my first thought is, what, are you gay? You attracted to me? What's going on, And, hold on. Okay, I had a little bit of a glitch there. Am I glitching? Am I glitching for you guys? I'm glitching on my screen. Hold on, let me just refresh and see if that helps.
Did you reset your... You didn't reset the router before, did you?
Doesn't. UK dude says I'm glitching every now and then. Why? Okay. Well, I think I'll finish this story, and I think we can wrap it up anyway, though, because we've been talking for over about 2.5 hours.
Yeah, it's almost 2.5 hours, and I got like 3 more questions that just came in. But
we can have a part 2.
We can hold it for another. I'll just let them tally up, and we'll do this again, man.
So okay, so let me finish this conversation before my stream breaks on people. All right. Okay. So several months later, again, she says she's looking distraught. "Don't laugh at me. I don't want you to laugh at me. I don't want you to cheer for me. I don't want you to get mad at me." "What?" She goes, "I'm not Muslim anymore." And that was my answer. That's exactly what I said. And then I said, "What? No. Our whole relationship is based on us not agreeing with each other."
Exactly.
By the way, I'm not breaking up on my stream. Maybe if you guys want to refresh, it might help. But we're almost done anyway. So anyway, So I was like, "Okay, well, tell me what happened." And she goes, "Well, I tell my husband everything."
Right.
Yeah. And she goes, "I I love him. He's my husband. I have to tell him everything." Yeah. Not bad. Not a bad thing. And she goes, "So every day when we have our conversations, I would tell him what we talked about, what I said, and what you said." Okay. And she goes, "And when I started telling him about the way you put it, stop looking at our Bible, our Quran, like a love letter, to actually look at it logically." He didn't do this right away. This was like, a month or 2 later. I don't know how long ago it's been since we talked about it. But last night, me and my husband sat down and we opened the Quran. And we started on the first page. And we said, we're not going to look at it like a love letter. We're going to pretend it's not the Quran and think about it logically. I'm like, that's awesome. And she goes, "So we weren't even a few chapters in, and my husband instantly got pissed. Like, it actually scared me a little bit. He got pissed. He took the book and slammed it shut. Just.
Whoa. Okay.
He looked at me and said, "This book is bullshit."
Wow.
Yeah, wow. I was just like, that. I'm not going to cheer or laugh or get mad or anything like that, because I know that hurts on the inside when you realize your whole life you've been going by that.
Exactly. Like it's not. It's like a lie.
Yeah,
You almost feel like you've been lied to, and you've been living your life following these guidelines, doing all these things, only to come to find out that it was futile. It's like, whoa.
exactly. And
That's wild work, Dustin.
yeah. And you know what? I mean, she said she's not an atheist or anything like that. She said she still believes in God. Obviously, you can't
Yeah.
you can't go
It's
from
hard to let go. It's hard to let go.
yeah, you can't be a full devout believer and then nothing the next day. You know, you're there. It goes in extreme baby steps. I don't know what
Definitely hard to let go.
I don't know what she's doing nowadays, but she said that she goes, "I still believe in God, but we're going to be looking at other religions." And I know for a fact, and that was pretty much one of the last times I talked to her, because she went for another job shortly after, that she's going to look at other religions, look at their Bible or whatever, and realize it's all the same shit.
It really is when you think about it. I don't know if anybody hasn't looked into the other religious texts and contexts and stuff like that. Um, the storyline, I like to say, is pretty much the same. Just different characters, man. It's just different characters, but the storylines are always lined up to be the same. There's always a few changes in there. You know, people got to tweak it to what they want to tweak it. Like they're gonna tweak it to suit their narrative. If they live in the mountains of Nepal, of course, they're going to tweak it a little bit to suit their narrative. But
And they all have their own fictitious stories, by the way. I did, because
yeah,
one Muslim girl I was talking to, she gave me, I can't remember what it was now. I wish I did, because it would have been a great story. But she told me about this one man did this thing, and it was like an impossible thing, but that was according to the Quran, and
right,
not heard of in the Bible. I'm like, oh, so you got your own bullshit stories.
right. Let me see here. Let me send this text. But shoot, you know what, Dustin? I'm going to hold these last questions. Man, this was good.
This was much better than I
I
thought it
have.
was going to be. I thought I was only going to be on for 20 minutes.
Oh no, no. Now when you said an hour, I was like, he doesn't know. He doesn't have any idea. I literally have a list, a notepad. I didn't write it down. I typed it, of course, of things that just came over throughout the week from me. I asked random people, Dustin. I was out in Walmart. I was like, hey, can I ask you a question? And they were like, yeah. And I was like, I noticed that you have on this Jesus, not today, Satan shirt. Um, why? And and then from their explanation, I just started pulling that information out, and I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna ask Dustin about that. Like, you know what I mean? So, oh yeah, it blew over pretty well. Um, at first it didn't work so well because people were just like, hey, why is this black guy walking up to me asking me questions?
So
You
what?
know, like
I mean,
it's a complete stranger, but yeah.
I like that.
So
All
yeah,
right, buddy.
we definitely got to do this again, guys. Thank you for tuning in. This was Dustin YDQ. If you look in my chat bar, I posted his link to Twitch, TikTok, and YouTube.
I should
Follow on
post your
all
link
three.
too. What am I not doing? Not posting your links. People could have called in,
Yeah, they could have called it.
and I'm just being a
Well, I
dick
tell you
about it.
what. I wonder if you can set the caller. I think maybe it's because I'm the host. I can only do it. Maybe next time we'll set it up on yours to do the call in, and then people can call in because you actually had more people come in and question you on your. You know what I mean?
I mean, I
Like that
posted it. I
guy.
posted it on my blue sky and Twitter also though.
Okay, okay. So, guys, feel free to follow Dustin on social media. He's a great guy. I promise you. You're gonna laugh. I love his stuff. It's it's a level of comedy that I enjoy. He has. What could I compare your comedy to, Dustin? It's kind of like a Bill Maher, but not so dry. Bill Maher is funny, but he's dry to me. Like his thing is dry. But Dustin has that quirky boom, like that punchline hits you, and you're just like, ha! It's like it's sweet. So that's what it seems like to me. So go follow him on TikTok. You'll definitely like it.
To answer Dom Rock's music's question, I do like Sam Harris. I'm not a big fan of his, but only because I haven't checked out too much of his stuff. I follow the Thinking Atheist. I follow Matt Dillahunty. A lot of they're bigger ones also. I know Sam Harris is big, but I haven't seen too much of his work. Just to answer your question, and real quick, I did post in my chat thing two things. One, my YouTube for my atheist podcast stuff. youtube.com/@YDUthink. And also the next one is Black Tony Stark, the guy I'm talking to right now. This is his Twitch. Check him out and give him a follow if you like him because he's cool. Anyway. And he's a good place to call in because he has that all set up.
Yeah, look, guys, I'll get with Dustin again. We'll set up another time, and this time I'll post it out. So I'll appreciate the follow, most of. This time I'll post it out, throw it out there when we're gonna do our next stream, and get everybody a little more prepared. We would definitely love to have more interaction from everybody. Just call in any questions you got.
Oh, yeah.
It doesn't have to necessarily be religion. We were talking about everything. So if you got something on your mind, call in and chat it up with us.
I'm also going to post my Blue Sky only because excuse me,
Blue Sky.
Blue Sky's like Twitter except for not owned by Elon.
Not owned by Commander Elon.
Yeah. Excuse me, I'm burping up a storm. I'm gonna post my Blue Sky because feel free that I'm gonna post that when I'm live. So like if you don't ring the bell here on Twitch, you can check it out on there. It's like, oh, he's live, cool. I'll check him out. So here's my Blue Sky. Boom.
Nice. Let me get that Blue Sky. I'm gonna click here. Got it. All right. Dustin. Sweet deal,
bro. We did
buddy.
Good.
Thank you. Yeah, we did good, man. I like you. I didn't know how this was gonna blow over. But I mean, the stuff, the questions came rolling in.
Yeah.
I gotta figure out a better way to. Like get all these chats together in one because I got Kick up, I have Facebook up,
I do like that you did get those questions and you compiled a bunch beforehand. That was pretty cool too.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I got more, but like I said, guys, I'm gonna keep these. I'm gonna erase this list. I'm gonna add your new questions in, and next time we get back with Dustin, we'll do it again.
Sounds like a plan, man. We can try again for maybe next weekend, or if you want to do it sooner, let me know.
Oh, you know what? It doesn't matter. Weekend's actually pretty good. I like Saturday night things like this. Let's go. We can do another Saturday night.
Sounds good.
Now. All right. Let's next Saturday.
Yeah, let's make that a plan.
All right, guys. It's official. Next Saturday, we're gonna be chatting it up again with YDU.
All right. You have a good rest of your night. Chat. Thank you for the follow. I'll say it again. Weapon followed me, but he never said anything. Bahama Lama, we know who that is. Thank you for the follow. Dom Rocks Music, of course, thank you, and thank you for being interactive as well. Most Def Steph, also thank you for the follow, and you did interact a bit too, which I highly appreciate. I want more interactors. Love your face, and I'm going to see you next time.
Oh, I missed that saying. That right there, that was coined by Dustin in our community chat. Love your face. Oh man, I'm gonna shoot Jedi a message and throw that on her.
I haven't heard from her in forever. In fact, I don't think anybody has. But All right, I'm gonna
She's
stop
okay.
it.
She's on gaming. She's gaming, man.
Yep.
She's on Baldur's Gate hard right now. Baldur's Gate 3. She's killing it. I was like, holy crap.
Bye, guys.
So,
Okay,
all
I
right.
just
Have a good night.
I just told bye, and I just put up a 1 minute ad so I can just stop while they're watching it.
All right, Dustin. All right, buddy. Shoot, reach out to me. I'm gonna